Hey lovies, welcome back to Anchored in Love. It's your girl Lexi. Don't forget to grab your snacks or whatever you need for this episode. This episode is tender, it's layered, and I won't go into every single detail because some parts of my testimony deserve their own episode when the time is right. But today, I want to give you a glimpse. Somebody listening needs to know that survival mode is not your final destination. I was born 4 months premature. 1 pound 6 ounces. Doctors told my family I probably wouldn't make it. I stayed in the hospital for months before I was strong enough to go home. My family called me the miracle baby. And when I look back now, I realized something powerful. Before I ever knew pain, before I ever felt abandonment, before I ever questioned my worth, God was already fighting for my life. I was born early, but I wasn't born by accident. Growing up, my parents were there. They weren't really present though. They were young. They were still kids. Life was heavy. One of my last memories of them is very vivid still. We were supposed to go on a picnic at Cunningham Park. I remember going to the store first, picking out snacks. My brother grabbed banana ice cream sandwiches. I chose Neapolitan, of course. I remember the smell of the grocery store aisles. I remember being excited. But behind the smiles, they were arguing. On the way to the park, the arguing got worse. Suddenly, my dad was speeding. They were yelling. It was just chaos. And then we stopped. And my dad pulled us out of the car. He put us down. I went back to the driver's seat. What happened next is something no child should ever witness. I remember my mom crying. I remember fear. I remember blood on the window. And then suddenly, he drove away. We were left there. Eventually, family came and got us. But that was the last time I saw my mom. And one of the last times I saw my dad. After that, my grandparents raised us. They did the best they could. They fed us, took us to school, loved us the only way they knew how. But abandonment does something to a child's heart. By 10 years old, I was sent to live with another family member for the summer in LA, except the summer never ended. No one explained it in a way a child could understand. I just knew I wasn't going back. That's when the lies started forming in my head. I must not be wanted. I didn't know what depression was at that age. I didn't know what anxiety was. I just knew I felt heavy, sad, and alone. I would help out at our family nursing home every day after school. I didn't really get to be a kid. And even though I was grateful for stability for a few years, internally I was unraveling. We moved constantly growing up. I lost count. It was hard to keep friends. Hard to feel rooted anywhere. I became so used to people leaving. High school was hard. Depression got louder. Anxiety got heavier. In 2014, I remember telling my aunt that I didn't want to live anymore. Instead of her offering help, I was told then do it. The sentence echoed in my mind for years. I spiraled. Caused self-harm, wore baggy clothes, and chopped my hair. Behind closed doors, I endured emotional and mental abuse from family members. And because chaos was normal to me, well, you see, I fell into toxic relationships. 4 of them to be exact, each one abusive in different ways. I thought that was love, because when you grow up fighting for scraps of affection, you'll accept anything that looks like it. The last relationship lasted 3 years. It was toxic, mentally and emotionally draining. I lost myself completely. One day after drinking and smoking just to numb everything, I remember falling to my knees in my living room, crying. And I said, God, if you're real, show me. And he did. Not in thunder, not in lightning, but in clarity, in strength I didn't have before, in peace that didn't make sense. Slowly he began pulling me out. Even when I went to New York and fell into the wrong crowd again, he still showed up. I remember being handed a drink. As I lifted it, I heard clear as day, you don't belong here. I looked around, no one was talking to me. I tried again. I told you, you don't belong here. Eventually I threw the cup down. Within moments I had a vision. It was a choice to stay and die spiritually, or maybe even physically, or go back to California and find restoration. The next day, $600 appeared in my account, just labeled direct deposit. No name, no explanation. That was my ticket home. I flew back to California and arrived the day before my birthday. But still, I had no plan, no guarantee, just faith. And little by little, God restored me. Eventually, I found a church. I joined the youth ministry. I began rebuilding my identity, not from trauma, not from abandonment, not from toxic love, but from who God said I was. For years, I lived in survival mode. But we all know survival is not the same as living. And now when I look back at that premature baby who wasn't supposed to make it, the little girl left at the park, the teenager who didn't want to live, the young woman who was drowning in toxic love, I see something different. I see proof that God never left. If I survived it, if I made it out, if God can meet me in those moments, He can meet you too. And this is only part 1. And that, lovies, is part of my story. Not all of it, but enough for you to know that I didn't just wake up anchored. I fought to get here. I cried to get here. I prayed to get here. If anything I shared today resonated with you, if you felt abandoned, overlooked, stuck in survival mode, or like you had to figure out life on your own, I need you to know something. You are not crazy for feeling the way you feel. You are not weak because it hurt you. And you are not forgotten. God will meet you in those moments. If this episode blessed you, share it with somebody who needs help, who needs hope, and send it to the friend who's silently struggling. I'll see you guys later on the next episode. Love you guys.